some breaking information has came out regarding Pooh Shiesty inside of jail. This will explain as to why Pooh Shiesty's lawyers are trying everything humanly possible to get him released, as well as why we watched Pooh Shiesty show up to his court hearing wearing a turtle suit. Now we need to speak about this, so let's get straight into it. Now, news sources online are claiming something very concerning about rapper Pooh Shiesty. So while he sits in jail awaiting his trial to start for armed robbery against two individuals, allegedly Pooh Shiesty was targeted while inside of jail. Now, him being targeted could have happened for many different reasons. Inmates that don't really have anything to lose could have went after him for commissary goods or simply just money on their books. Now this would explain as to why we saw Pooh Shiesty showing up to his bail hearing wearing the turtle suit. Now as we watched Pooh Shiesty walk into his bail hearing, millions of fans across the world were surprised to see him walk in looking very concerning and sad while wearing a turtle suit. So typically while you're in jail, if you're having a very hard time, saying things about your own life, caught crying by the guards, things in that nature, the law enforcement will actually take your clothing and all of your belongings and give you this suit to wear instead, as you can't do anything to yourself as you could with normal clothes. Now you can also look at it from a different perspective as to wearing this suit while in jail will practically force inmates to leave you alone as you no longer have anything that they would want. As we've seen many times, YNW Melly in jail wearing Gucci sneakers, Dior shorts, all kinds of very nice designer goods. Who knows what Shiesty had while in jail? Now knowing Pooh Shiesty, he most likely had the highest end jail clothing that you can order. This is very comfy shorts as well as very nice t-shirts, and inmates may have wanted them from Shiesty, which then explains as to why law enforcement took everything and gave him the turtle suit. Now this will actually be the least of Pooh Shiesty's worries, as now Shiesty is facing federal armed robbery charges, in this case with a maximum of life in prison if convicted. Now this basically all comes down to the 10-20 life rule that's in the Florida court system. This means you'll be put into prison for 10 years if you pull out a firearm without a license. 20 years if you pull out the firearm, use it towards someone without defending yourself. Then you'll be looking at 25 years to life in prison if you pull out a firearm, use it towards someone, and that person is then affected. Now in the official court files, it states that with everything being caught and recorded on surveillance cameras, rapper Pooh Shiesty met two individuals inside of a parking lot. You can actually watch Shiesty driving into the parking lot driving his bright green McLaren sports car. Now when Shiesty and his boy arrived, they hopped out of their vehicles and met the two men. They were originally supposed to buy high-end sneakers as well as some narcotics at this meetup. Now at the time, Shiesty was wearing a mask over his face. This originally made it very hard for law enforcement to figure out who it was, but Pooh Shiesty left behind some very convincing evidence. Now everything was going normal during the meetup. Shiesty was showing these two men inside of his green McLaren. This all happened until the transaction was about to go down. When the goods were about to be exchanged, Shiesty said, you know what, no, I'm good, this is a robbery. He pulls out a firearm and he uses it towards the two men, hitting one in the hip and the other one in the backside. Shiesty then hopped back into his all-green McLaren with the goods, and while trying to rush and grab the sneakers and narcotics, a Louis Vuitton bag then fell out of his McLaren. This Louis Vuitton bag was stuffed into the side door compartment, and when he opened up his butterfly doors, it fell out. Now in this Louis Vuitton bag was $40,912 all in cash, and which to me seems like way more than enough to pay for these sneakers and narcotics. I'm not sure why he just did an armed robbery in broad daylight for these items. Now after the incident went down, Pooh Shiesty then headed straight to the airport. He then rented a private jet and he actually flew right out of there before law enforcement even had the chance of arresting him. Now the evidence files in his court case that I found online is something that all fans need to see, as this is going to put him behind bars for life in prison. Now in this court case, funny enough, this Instagram photo of Pooh Shiesty will be getting used against him. Now this photo, you see Pooh Shiesty standing right beside a bright green McLaren sports car. Can you guess what day he posted this to Instagram? Yes, the exact same day he did the armed robbery with this vehicle. I'm not too sure of what Pooh Shiesty was thinking while doing that, but it's very interesting. Now the next piece of evidence is the Louis Vuitton bag. This is evidence that you won't even believe, and I didn't either. But this bag was holding, as I said, $40,912 in cash. Now this is being used against Pooh Shiesty, as after the robbery went down, law enforcement were able to scoop this bag out of the parking lot. Now funny enough, Pooh Shiesty uploaded several photos to his Instagram page within the last few months of him doing the money stretch across his body type deal, and well, law enforcement were able to download those photos, zoom in on the serial numbers on the $100 bills, and what do you know? One of the serial numbers in one of the photos he took matches with a $100 bill found inside of the Louis Vuitton bag that was in the parking lot. Now either Pooh Shiesty has to be one of the unluckiest rappers that I've ever seen, or he's just not one of the smartest either. Now the most interesting thing about this court case is that Pooh Shiesty originally said he was not guilty in his first court hearing. Now a massive update came out around a week ago where Shiesty has now submitted a request to the judge with a plea of him saying that he will plead guilty for exchange of a lesser sentence. It's going to be interesting to see if this gets accepted, as the evidence against him is already so good, they don't even need a plea from Pooh Shiesty. They already know that he's guilty. So this is all going to depend on the judge if he wants to see Shiesty in prison for the next 20 to 30 years. I don't think it's really going to happen that way. I think that Pooh Shiesty will get the plea for this court case and be sentenced to 10 years in prison. And this is only because this is not his only court case. Pooh Shiesty's also facing a completely other court case where once again witnesses caught him using a firearm towards a security guard at the King of Diamonds club. Now you cannot even make this up. Pooh Shiesty was performing with, what did you know, $40,000 in cash in his skinny jeans. And while performing, fans that were in the crowd were trying to knock the stack of money out of his back pocket. And well, they were able to do it. $40,000 of cash plopped right onto the floor. Everybody inside of the club quickly grabbed the money and quickly ran out of the club. Pooh Shiesty started chasing after these people. While being caught on camera exiting the club, Shiesty was pulling a firearm out of his waistband. When pulling his firearm out of his waistband and exiting the club, witnesses claim that Pooh Shiesty started having an altercation with a security guard in which he then used his firearm against the individual. That's when Shiesty then quickly gave the firearm to, I believe, one of his boys, and he quickly dashed the scene, and he has not been found since. Now for that case alone, he's going to be looking at another probably 20 years in prison, as witnesses watched him do it. Shiesty overall has ruined his rap career, and it's really sad because he is a true talent, and he is one of the biggest rappers of this year. Anyways guys, I'm ending the video here. If you enjoyed, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. I'm out. Peace.